Welcome everyone to this conversation with Martin Tironi, who is an associate professor in the School of Design at the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile. Martin recently was a keynote at Cumulus Bogotá Design After, where he speak about how digital technologies should lead from smart cities to social cities. Today we are gonna speak about the challenges design is facing, and I'll start with the first question. Martin, let's go straight forward to the main subject of this interview. What are the challenges, the future challenges that design is facing?
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much, Renato, for the invitation. So I think that design research or design are in front of several challenges related to the global crisis that we are living now with the coronavirus. First, I believe that the field of design must take its world-making capacity seriously. In other words, design is not limited, it's not reduced to just responding to the needs of users, and it should expand its capacity to redesign, I think, meanings, relationship between humans and non-humans. So I think that in response to the ecological disaster that we are living now, design can make a significant contribution redefining our extractivist or even our instrumental way in which humans relate to the environment. So I think that this world-making capacity of design can help us to create what I call a more than human future. With this concept, more than human future, I mean futures that are not only oriented toward human satisfaction and are instead focused and oriented on maintaining reproduction and the care of our fragile ecosystem. So this is, I think, the first challenge. The second, I think that we must pay more attention to the processes and form of interdependencies that design produce through this dynamic of world making. This means leaving aside the obsession, this focus with innovation and the sanctification of technological solutions that are part of our modern and linear perspective of doing. It is, for me, important to question, to interrogate the imperative of innovation if we really want to create a more ethical design. I have always thought that sometimes the greatest innovation can reside in maintaining and carrying our spaces. Inhabiting the planet does not only mean innovation and producing something new, it also means carrying and maintaining our relation and our space. The third challenge that I see to the design field, I think that design must expand its speculative tools to create alternative futures. As several authors, theorists have said, we are moving toward a process of defuturing in which certain scenarios seem inevitable and predetermined, preset scenario. I believe that design has an ethical obligation, maybe, to problematize hegemonic futures. For example, the futures that are manufactured in Silicon Valley, as an example. And I think that design must create the condition for making alternative, non-normalized future that allows us to redesign our way of interacting with the planet. So we live in a damaged planet. And I believe that design can help, can create the condition to project way of life that can support and maintain our planet. So this is my first answer to your question.
Okay, okay. Digitalization is inevitable. Our lives are constantly and acceleratingly digitalized. And you have worked for many years on issues related to smart cities. What can you say about the role of design in this process of digitalization of our daily lives?
Yeah. This is a very good question, because actually it's true that we are living in a process of kind of forced and accelerated process of digitalization, datification of our way of living because the coronavirus. And we are moving towards something that we can call algorithmic civilization, in which technology based on data, but on artificial intelligence, promises the automatization of different human tasks and guide and orient human decision making. And the most important promise of artificial intelligence is this capacity to control, to anticipate, and to rationalize the future. This is the main, for me, the most complicated promises of artificial intelligence. And I believe that design must play a very important role in determining how we want to relate with technology, how we want to build our contract with technology, our socio-technical contract with technology. Today, more than ever, I think we need to question, we need to interrogate the limit of this algorithmic governmentality, as Antoinette Rouvois called it, and decide how much or to what extent we want to be replaced, or we want to be governed by these smart technologies. And so I think that if design doesn't develop a radical ethic to approaching this issue, we are in danger of allowing artificial intelligence technologies to intensify existing form of discrimination based on social class, race, gender, and so on. So I believe that there are many people, there are many researchers in the field of design, but also in anthropologists and sociologists, but in the field of design, who are thinking about how to combat this algorithmic oppression and how to develop more ethical way of living with digital world or digital data.
Yeah, that's a quite interesting challenge. Do you think that the current vision of future and the concepts we are now using for thinking about our future are going to be useful tomorrow? Or
you talk about the notion of future.
Yeah, you're using these terms, algorithmic, oppression. So it seems that for thinking about the future, new concepts are needed.
Yeah. Actually, I just started a project on the notion of future, and what I realizing that the world of design continues to use the idea of the future with a sort of naive optimism.
Modernist notion,
a
no?
Modernist way to think about future, linear way, a kind of progressist way to think of futures.
Yeah.
And everyone today are talking about redesigning the future, prototyping the future, creating the future. So there is many people around working with the notion of future. There is even a market for future consultants that are trying to anticipate the future, to calculate the future in order to rationalize and capitalize the future. So I just started a project about that, and there is many authors working, but I would like to say two comments about futures. The first of all is that this sort of cult of the idea of future based on the new is always assist, is always support, is always accompanied by a sort of exclusion. It's assisted by a sort of rejection of certain tradition, practices, values, or past. So I think that we need to think how the notion of future that we are using implies a different way of exclusion. The second comment that I want to do to propose about the future, I think that it's important to recognize that the future is not a set of statements. It's not just a desires or wishes about something that does not exist yet. The future is a socio-technical construct that is built and enacted from the present. The future is always socially and politically disputed from the present. So I think that design must contribute to unpacking hegemonic futures that are framing our way of doing, and start to design with or from a pluriversality of possible worlds. I am using the concept of Escobar of pluriversality of possible world. And this work implies an ontological redesign of the field of design, and which I think many authors that probably you know are putting and working around.
It is easy for me to think about the contribution design can make in a theoretical realm, but it is not easy for me to think about the contribution design can make as a practical activity. Can you say something about the design as a practice activity, how design as a practical activity can contribute to this unpacking you are talking about?
Yeah. I think that all this issue about damaged planet, global crisis, and even the theoretical approach to the notion of future, you can approach in this issue by concept, by theoretical frame. But the powerful aspect of design is that this world-making capacity. So I think that we need to take seriously this capacity of working with stuff, working with things. And through this process, you can accelerate the process of making new concepts. So I think that we need to create a more strong relationship between making and thinking. And so this is why I'm using this notion of role-making capacity, because we can think about the notion of Anthropocene, and there is many authors working about Anthropocene, but the capacity of design is to create an atmosphere or to create something that can impact or can sensibilize people to try to involve and create more critical thinking about this issue through things, through objects. So this is, I think, the important aspect of design in this debate.
Yeah, in that sense, design is a sort of particular agent because it has the ability or the capacity to to make transformations in the world and to use theory for transforming the world finally, for transforming the material world, which is the world that is in a crisis.
Yeah, I think that all this notion that we are talking about, you can reduce this notion in a theoretical frame. You need to take seriously the idea that we need to create matter of design around this notion. This is a matter of design, this topic. And the problem is that sometimes in design world, we think that we need to create always something new, but maybe we can work with traditions and
with what already exists.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting projects you are involved right now is you're part of the curatorial team that is going to build this Chilean pavilion at the next Design Biennial in London. In that curatorial project, you are advocating for decolonization of design. What kind of reflection you wish to generate there? You're gonna speak about decolonization of design in London, so it's quite interesting to.
Yeah, and also it's related with what our discussion before. So I don't want to say too much about the pavilion because we are working now and we are preparing a book. But I can say that in our pavilion, we are focusing on two main concepts. First of all, is the idea of planet-oriented design.
Planet-oriented design.
Planet-oriented design. And the second is the decolonial design. And so we believe that proposing a move from user-centered design to planet-centered design, which we have called cosmopolitical design in some papers following Isabel Stenger's. Proposing this move from user-centered to planet-centered design, we believe that we can help to decolonize design and redefine the participants, the recipients, the value of design, and try to change the relationship that we create with our environment. So as you know, Renato, design has been framed in a modern paradigm that has colonized most of our civilization and our way of doing design. This means that we have adopted a radically anthropocentric, productivist, and even instrumentalist form of design that is focused, as I said before, on innovation, consumption, and this linear way to understand future. So our pavilion proposed a radical return to the past. We are working around Monteverde, a very old archaeological finding in the south of Chile. And we will try to unfold a setting based on an ancestral gesture that is strike stones. So in the pavilion, we explore the resonance of the Chilean lithic knowledge, in order to rethink our way of coexisting on the planet. So the main idea is to consider the interdependency between design and the world, and the need to offer a dignified life for both human and non-human.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. We're at the end of the interview. I don't know if you wish to add something as a closure, as an end, a final idea.
Yeah, no, just say that thank you very much, Renato, for the very good question. And no, just say that I think that one of the thing, or the most important thing that the coronavirus crisis has shown us is that we live in a very, very radically interdependent and interconnected world. For me, it's one of the main learning of this global crisis. And I think that we need to address or take more seriously this condition of mutual reciprocity with the earth if we want to create a more ethical design.
Great. Thank you very much, Martin. Many thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.